Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to another episode of our Black Myth Wukong Let's Play. And before we get started, I did do some grinding in between episodes to pick up the items that's available on this stage. We have first the tiger belt. You get this from fighting the tiger with a really long neck. It's one of the gold tier curios. And essentially after you get a parry off, where basically you time your heavy attack swap, right when they're about to attack you, and you get the invincibility, it will grant you attack bonus for a period of time afterward if you get a successful parry. So we're going to use it. It looks quite good. And we also farmed one of these, and you can probably guess who we got this drop from. It's the cricket from the cave, and we pick up just pretty useless mass in my opinion. You can't really upgrade them because they're not part of a set, and it grants jumping attack damage bonus, which I don't think we're going to be using very much of. But it's nice to have. We need it for the full achievement. Aside from these two drops, I also farmed the tree, which grants us this vine. And essentially it let us recover stamina when we drink. And for a period of time, it increases the speed of your stamina recovery. I think these are the only drops available in terms of at least farming in chapter 4, so I think we got all of them. It didn't take too long, but you do have to be patient because there's not many tigers or trees for you to hunt, so you just gotta keep resetting it. And we'll continue our journey here in this hidden area. Looks like we're approaching some sort of temple. Hanlongmen, the door to, climb up into Dragonhood. Ooh, playing an instrument here. I'm guessing we don't have to fight him. In such a hidden area, we don't really get visitors that often. He's a Taoist by appearance. Young friend, like you look sickly. Are you also infested with the bug poison? Qinlang, so the maggot we fought. If you eat its egg, it increases your power. But after they hatch, they'll eat up your organs, and you'll be left with, the maggot head. My fellow disciples have all ate this, and now you can't really save them. If you have the heart, help me kill them. As a fellow disciple, I don't have the heart to do it myself. So is he one of the disciples who's brought up here, but he didn't take the lotus root and somehow still survived? This is where the 100-eyed demon takes his disciples that he says have mastered their way and feed them that lotus root that turns them. Oh? Mission item. I think we're supposed to give this back to the Taoist we just spoke, and it's a random drop. We just happened to pick it up on our second Taoist, which is quite lucky. We'll still clear out the area of all his fellow disciples and whatever mushroom we wake up here. Is he gonna make a puddle? Yep, he's gonna make a puddle. And then he's gonna jump us, I think. Also, in between episodes, because we got poisoned there, that's not cool. Because we were farming for those items, we ended up leveling up. So this is the remains of whatever is hatching inside of their disciples' intestines, and this is what Mi Daoren, the Mi Taoist who spoke to us, want. So we can actually just bring it back to him and trigger the fight with him. But no rush. We don't have another spark. I was just putting the extra stat into things like increased stamina, just core base stats, nothing fancy. There's got to be more than just 2 disciples, right? I'll let the poison tick down because I want to save the mana for fighting him. We got one of the dusters. Ah, can't dodge it here. Alright, poison's gone, and we can refill our pot. Now, to be fair, his fellow disciples here haven't had their intestines chewed out, and they haven't really turned into those maggots just yet. This is that door we saw. Is it me or that pot looks different? Yep, there we go. Another upgrade material for our drinks. We need a lot more of those, actually. Because we're like 2 levels off. I think I need 4 more to get the full upgrade on our current alcohol. Two of them, huh? Let's see if we can drag one over. Ooh. Let's kill him before he gets another hit in. Poison. Alright, there we go. Now what's in the chest? Spirit upgrade material, a little bit of gold. I haven't decided which spirit transformation we are going to upgrade next. Haven't found one that, you know, stood out to us, but there's plenty more in every chapter, so we don't really have to rush that decision. More spider webs. Oh, that's why. We don't want to go there just yet. That's the last thing you want to do in the hidden area. Grab the shrine, but don't walk up those stairs. Make sure you finish the Scorpion and the Taoist missions first. Lots of spiders. Ooh, poison. Gonna have to get rid of the poison that way. We could reset before we go back to the Taoist. But I don't think one spell is going to create a problem for us. We should be fine. Another recipe. I think bomb. Oh, that was a little jump scare. I think bombing gun is the one that gives us our full health back. Ah, that's where we turned. Okay, so I think we might have covered the entire area. Right, because we came over here first. There's no jumping down. And we got the drop that he's looking for. So let's have a chat with him. We'll fill up and kick off this fight. Good, good, good. This is it. These monsters thing, odd shape. I have to bring it back to the temple to study this carefully. Young friend, it's fortunate that we have met. Why don't you help me out? Leave your head so I can report back to my master. And that's a parry, and we should get attack boost afterwards due to our new curio. Ooh. Another parry. Ooh, kicks. Alright, no victory, so he has a second form. He's gonna swallow it. So strong. Perfect, perfect. You're gonna be my first blood after my transformation. And we've seen this thing before. Now, Mi Daoren, the Mi Taoist. Mi means to waste, to rot, you know, and we can see why. Wait, we didn't break him out of his moveset? Even with the big head, it didn't break him? That's a lot of poison. Still want to get the hit in. Ooh, he's weak. That, like, almost broke him. I guess he starts out with less health in this form. And also he takes just a bunch of damage. A lot of poison, though. We'll let Guangzhi tank the poison for us. There we go. Oh, we reverted that. Here comes our snake friend. Oh. These mortals. No idea the powers they hold. To end up like this. It's something that they, you know, pick their own path. And out it comes. You're different. The poison things of this world can't really take your life. Keep this carefully. If you use it well, it can help you quite a bit. Hurry up and go save him. Been trapped there. You know, being alive is a worse fate than death. I watched him grow up since he was young. I can't kill him. As in, like, I don't have the heart to kill him. We got the transformation. We're immune from poison damage. And we have poison attacks. Alright, Mi Daoren. Many years ago, there was a young man who came to... Oh, was he the guy who finally escaped? The story continues. A young man who came to the Spiderweb Ridge to seek revenge, but he was captured by monsters. He went through a lot of difficulties in the cave before finally escaping, returning back to the kingdom of Zhuzi. All the other Weaver families came to him to seek if he can bring them back to visit the Zhu clan estate to try to get that Jade shuttle. And he's kind of torn by this request and doesn't want to really deal with them, so he shut his gate and refused to see anyone. But his mother doesn't understand him, right? He left in the beginning because his dad left. And his mother don't know why he doesn't want to help these people to go get this magical Jade shuttle or to go save his father. And she doesn't understand what he's been through, basically. And she forces him to lead the others up the ridge to see if they can, you know, be a mob and kill the monsters and save their dad. But of course, since all these Weavers, all of them just want the Jade shuttle for themselves, when they basically bump into danger, they cannot band together. You know, they don't have one heart here. And they constantly bickered and fought each other. And finally, inside the Zhu clan estate, the Zor-colored spider was able to wipe all of them out. The young man's crawling on the ground, super afraid. And at this time, the spider transformed back to a human form. And it seems that she was actually the Zor-colored deity, the maiden who he saw earlier in the cave. At this point, he was already tired of how mortals, how regular humans deal with things, right? Seeing all these people who forced him here, seeing his mother who doesn't understand him, seeing his father who came here for greed and died. So he's just crying and begging this spider lady to keep him on the ridge so he can cultivate. The lady scolded him and chased him out of the estate. So she didn't kill him. Now, the Zor colored one, is that our fourth sister? Green color, Azure color, maybe it's the second sister who's in charge of all the management, which could be the case because we met her first in the estate. And thus he basically was exiled onto the ridge, and he lived in that abandoned village that we talked about in another story. The bug monsters all heard about him, and the dragonfly monster sees how much suffering he's through, so they actually help introduce him to the Yellow Flower Temple, and he was able to finally meet his future teacher, the 100-Eye Demon Lord, so he became a Taoist. The Taoists of this particular temple all wore these stone masks, and the 100-Eye Demon tells him that if he wants to cultivate, he must cut ties with the mortal world, and wear the stone mask is a symbol of that. Now, he wasn't so sure about it, so he wanted to walk around the temple and see for himself. And at this point, there was a red-clothed old lady who brought a bunch of beautiful-looking, almost like deity ladies who came to visit. The red-clothed old lady is probably the spider, right? She's the junior disciple of the 100-Eye Demon, and she's bringing her daughters here to the temple to meet the 100-Eye Demon. And amongst them was the Zor-colored lady and a yellow-colored girl. So he recognized them because he played with the young girl and then eventually got chased out by the Zor-colored one from his earlier story. Afterward, there was a feast in the temple, and he just peeked from afar and saw that, on that table, they had many good dishes, but these dishes were fried using human oil. So basically, if you think about lard, which is oil refined from pork, or like tallow, which is oil you get from beef, these are oil you get from human fat. And it's also human flesh that's being cooked. Human brain made into like tofu pieces, and human meat made into like pork bun fillings. And he feels so disgusted looking at these monsters eat humans. Now, the origins of these dishes are from Journey to the West. These were dishes that the spider ladies served to Tang Sung when he went to go get food the first time, right before he got captured. Now, when he's looking on, the 100-Eye Demon, is looking back at him and just says, "Monster eating human is our natural instinct. Human lives are limited, so even though we're eating them, we're only cutting their life short by a few decades. And for us, who has much longer life, it's just a blink of an eye. So we don't think we're doing anything wrong, right? So it's like we eat meat, right, from, let's say, pork or cow or chicken, and we can justify it in a sense. And the monster is saying, this is no different, really." And that night, the young man felt incredibly lonely. So under the moonlight, he started to hum a song that's from his homeland. And he, had a reflection moment asking himself, how did he end up to this point? And he cried for a long time before finally he gained enough determination to join this temple and become a student of the 100-Eye Demon. And, he basically realized if he can't really change anything, change the past, he might as well join them. He didn't sleep the entire night and basically got determined to do this. He asked his teacher after joining him, what's the shortcut to becoming a monster himself? And the 100-Eye Demon said, within the Purple Cloud Mountain, there is a strange bug called Qianlang. We know this is the pupae they stole from, or they're gifted, or maybe I think they're gifted this from the Western Kunlun Mountains, where they have these mythical beasts, but if you bring them out, they take weird forms. And essentially, they hatch this pupae from this monster, and if you swallow it, it's a shortcut to becoming a monster yourself. And that's why he's seeking this. I think this is just the new recipe we got. Yep. Alright, we're all set. We're gonna reset at that shrine we unlocked. Ooh, there's a... Did we not kill that guy? Did we not get over there? Hold on. I thought I got everything, but apparently not. Because we haven't reset the area at all. Wonder if there's a spider, given that there are webs. Okay, maybe we didn't kill everyone, because there's also a chest there. Just some gold fragments, nothing major, but... Oh, there's a lotus down below. We can jump down. Ooh. Welcome by a frog who explodes into poison puddles, and there's another one chasing us. Oh, another two chasing us. Okay, so we haven't explored everything. Ooh, triple frog. Okay, but we've been here, we just didn't know that we could get into the waters here. So basically a bunch of will on both sides. No, that's just a dead end. Okay. Now I think we got everything. So for the snake lady, as we mentioned when we first saw her, she's probably Lishan Laomu. Lishan is a mountain also in western China. It's close to where the Qin dynasty was founded. And there is like a founding myth of Qin dynasty where one of the earlier emperors of the Qin kingdom, I guess before they really united everything, hundreds of years before they united everything, is that one of the kings fell in love with a girl from Lishan, which is Mount Li, basically. It's a mountain name. And together they had a son who will basically become descendants of the line that becomes the Qin emperors. I think we got everything here. We can just reset at the shrine and then go fight the boss. So there's a lot of different myth with that particular deity throughout Chinese dynasties. Our new recipe for, let's see, it's not the one we just got. This is the one we just got. Yeah, immediately heal to full. We have 4 in storage, 1 on us. You can only carry 1 at a time. Limits how many you can actually use in a boss fight, basically. I don't think we need to buy any of these. Lacking material for the helmet and one of the armor, I think. Spells. I think we're good. Just rest for the mana and then we can go fight. And Li Shanlamu shows up in Journey to the West, first in the form of just the old lady hosting the party early on when Ba Jie was, new to the party. We'll trigger a boss fight, so we'll wait a little bit here. And her test is that she got 3 of the Bodhisattva, I think Pu Xian, Guan Yin, and Wen Shu, so 3 Pusa, to transform into 3 daughters of hers, Zhen Zhen, Lian Lian, Ai Ai. And they're all beautiful in their transformation. And she was trying to tempt Ba Jie, who was still being tested for lust, by offering them all as daughters, as wives for him. And basically Ba Jie kind of failed that and then got tricked in the night. And then she shows up later to introduce Wukong to the potential of finding Pilan Po Pusa, who is the mother of this thing. But this thing is no longer really the Rooster Constellation deity. He's been kind of hatched here in this cocoon. He's being tortured, as the snake has mentioned to us. Now, why is she like a human face with the snake? It's probably because in Lishan, another very famous deity also resides there, and her name is Nuwa, and she's like considered one of the founding deities of Chinese mythology, and her form is of a snake. So that could be the reason. Oh, he's injured. You can see his name here, Hui Yue. So he's like, they're calling him Moon. Essentially, Mao Ri was his original name. And this is like the opposite of his original name. So he's being corrupted to be different, to be like the direct opposite of what he was supposed to be. But you can still see elements of the rooster on him. There we go. Not a bad trait there. Ow. He punches? Can't hit us. Alright, 3 perfect dodges in a row. 4. Not bad. And we got some stance for that, and then we're going to just slam it down on him. Ow, that's quite delayed. He doesn't hurt that much. Not very punishing to get hit. Like, we still have plenty of health, and we got hit like 3-4 times already. Ow. This one's too close to react. Wasted. Alright, you stay still. Yeah, we saw that punch come. AoE slam. Wow, that hitbox is weird. Needs some stamina back, but he's almost dead. There we go, and of course, second form. As now they have his name as the Moon. gonna see some blood moon action here. Right, his associated planet was supposed to be the sun, but they have him as the complete opposite corrupted version here. Alrighty. And he pulled out his spine as a blade. Ooh. Alright. Also going to be using this now. Oh, it can't. The rain is knocking us back. Ooh, ooh. We died. I was in the middle of a heavy attack combo because I pressed the wrong button, but we got one shot there by the feathers. We basically needed a twirl, and we would have survived. Now, do we just fight the transform form again, or do we have to start from the first phase? We might have to start from the beginning, given how it worked with the white-clad noble, which had 2 phases. Yep. Ooh. It's okay, it doesn't really hurt. I think we can just beat his first form without using any spells at all. He wants to punch us. There we go. They're running us? Nope. Oh no. I was like, let us get that hit. Alright, phase 2. We might start out with a transformation because it might last 2 transformations. We'll see how it goes. Oh, we can skip this part now. Wait, his weapon is the stinger from... It's not his spine. It's a stinger from a scorpion. Wait. We can't twirl so much of that damage away. It's the female scorpion that he killed in the original novel. Which is the reason why the other scorpion wanted to kill him. Because that's his wife. Wait. We'll use this. Use this. You still have some feather on you. We can light you up. Ooh, he dodged the charge. Ooh. That's a new move. Great. And the drag back. Okay, okay. There we go. Close enough that that won't miss. And stop him. No. Alright, I don't know if that trait was worth it, but there's a ground shake after this. Alright, we might juice up some meds, because I think I want to kill him on this run. We can use the cooldown reduction for transformation here. Maybe not a good idea there. Ground explosion again? No, okay. He's doing the... I can't. I just have to dodge. I don't have any twirling on this one. We could do... We're just gonna do drugs. full health. We have the recipe and the storage for this. Alright, I'm gonna trade health here, just make sure we land this hit. And we still failed. So I can't approach him here. And then can we get back? Alright, gotta have perfect dodge now. We had an opening there to get a couple hits in. Ooh. Again? No, 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 no. There we go. Been many years since we met. Can't imagine how you've been transformed to such a sad state. Well, transformed by them. Yep, she came from Lishan. She's been investigating what's happening in the valley here. I wasn't trying to, you know, pretend hide who I was from you. Just that I have some difficulties. I knew his mother, so I didn't have the heart to kill him. That's why I lured you here. Now, this needle should be his mother's weapon. But I guess she also has the ability to give us this needle. I thought this weapon has been falling in the hand of that 100-eye monster, right? Because we got it. It's the blood-soaked one that we have. Maybe this is destiny. Let me help you. We'll help this item recover its magical abilities, and this is my way of saying thanks to you. And this is going to be our key in beating the 100-eye demon. Just a few threads from heaven. They don't even know where it leads. They don't know if it's, you know, good fortune or bad fortune that waits them. Why is everyone trying to climb such a ladder? She's talking about the students as well as some of the deities. But for those who are really confused about the background story here, is from the dialogue we have with the crane deity. They're crafting basically immortality pills for the celestial court, and they're breeding monsters as material. All right, we got a new item, and we got another. So for a certain amount of time, it will seek out its enemy and attack them. Against particular enemy, has particular special effect. Slightly increase our crit damage and crit chance. Essentially, it's going to help us blind the 100-eyed demon. It's going to poke at his eyes. Wait, what did we pick up here? No, not these. A new soaking material. If we're poisoned, it clears our poison status, increase our crit rate, and our movement speed. It's gonna be all part of that self-poison build. We got the horn for the missing helmet piece that we needed. That tree, this area, we will have to come back after we complete the chapter. There's something that we can pick up there. But now, we can actually... Well, let's first grab the entry. He lied there on the ground, not knowing how he was defeated. The bug monster with the Taoist cloak that he didn't think was a threat earlier now is standing in front of him laughing. Within the hand of that bug monster is this glowing golden, I guess, needle here. Jinchan, it could be a trident, but Jinchan, it's probably we're talking about the needle. And he suddenly realizes, and before he could ask, because he can't make a sound as he feels so much pain, that bug monster has used the golden needle to cut open his throat, so he no longer can talk. He feels like he's gonna die soon, so he closes his eyes, but the last sight that he got from his glimpse is that ugly face, the Taoist. I think he's facing off against the 100-eyed demon, who has defeated his mother and stolen her magical item, the golden needle. So he knows from the needle that his mother's probably been defeated. And little did he know, as he lied there thinking he's gonna die, he got flipped over and someone's applying medicine on his wounds so he can breathe again. But this is not a good thing. The bug monster said, "The medicine given by my master, it surely works like magic. It can reconnect limbs, but such a waste to use it here." He opened his eyes, so we're talking about the Constellation Deity, right, the rooster again, and wanted to ask. The bug monster stopped him and said, "Don't rush. This medicine will cure your flesh wound, but the damage to your internals can't be healed by it. And, even if it can, I don't want to heal you." And as he finished, the bug monster waved his hand, and two, I guess, azure-colored, robed, he's calling them fake Taoist monks, who came over here with a giant jade chest that's covered by this, fancy linen, came over here. And from this chest, he grabbed a golden cocoon. And he says, us wild monsters, monsters who are scattered in the wild, is not a match for this magical item. You are a better test experiment for this. He is quite shocked and ended up coughing up blood, the Rooster Deity, and the blood spilled on top of the golden cocoon. And once the blood touched the cocoon, the pupae bursted out of the cocoon, and it became this human-faced, gold-bodied bug that wiggled its way into the ground and disappeared. Now the bug monster, I guess the 100-eyed demon who was holding it, is not panicking, as he brought out another golden cocoon from the chest and says, "Master definitely thought of everything and prepared too." At this point, the Rooster Deity still wanted to struggle, but his entire body is tied down by spider webs, so he can't really move. And the bug monster yelled out, "Make him swallow it." So the couple of Taoists, the fake Taoists, came over here with buckets of water grabbed his head and poured. The bucket's not holding water. It's apparently holding some sort of herbal medicine, and it's being shoved down his throat. All he can kind of taste is this, stench taste from the medicine, and he feels this hard thing going down his throat, and it seems like he swallowed something. After swallowing that, his body is as though they've been thrown into the clouds, and he's rapidly descending, and even his, conscious is kind of cloudy. He can't really think for himself, aside from a little feeling of linger for his mother, right? He knows his mother is in danger because of the needle. He can't remember anything else. And as though if there is such thing as destiny, he chanted one last spell, wishing that the heaven and earth can pass on one chance of life, the fate of having a chance to survive, to his mother. Well, his mother definitely lost both of her hands, which is why we have the left hand and right hand of Buddha. By Buddha here, they just mean Fu, which is a broad term for like all Buddhist deities, not really just the Buddha. Gongyi, so the snake. Atop of the celestial court, where the Jade Emperor resides, many deity gather, and the red clothes, or this deity, is amongst the many. And she sees Taibai Jinxin, who's the Venus star. He's like the messenger deity. He's bringing in this person to the court, and he's wearing a crown that has the symbol of the five mountains, and he's holding a Shanhe Hu. Hu is this stick that supposedly take notes on, and you see a lot of Chinese officials bring this. Basically looks like a piece of wood, often became a piece of jade in the future as people stop using it for note taking and instead just have it as a status symbol. And he's wearing a 7-star robe. So 7 stars usually reference to the Big Dipper. And he's also holding a Baji, so the 8 trigram. Bao Huan. Wait, is this Tai? Is this Tai Zhen, the man who cooks all the pills he's a pretty powerful Taoist deity in the celestial court. But he basically says, I have brought the son of Pilan Po Pusa from the Purple Cloud Mountain. So basically they brought, okay, so the person dressed this way is not that deity. The person dressed this way that they're describing is the Rooster Constellation before he got transformed to this. This is his first day on the job. He got brought in wearing all this fancy getup, and Taibai Jinxin, the Venus star, is basically saying, I have brought the son of the Bodhisattva Pilan Po, who resides in the Purple Cloud Mountain. He's here. The Jade Emperor hears this and says, everyone come here. Today I'm going to announce that this will be our new Mao Ri Xing Guan, our celestial constellation deity for that position. And he will be part of the 28 constellation. He will reside in the hall, the illuminating hall. And from this point on, he will be one of our deities. His job is to basically patrol the night sky according to his schedule. And he's quite happy about this. He gave his thank. And the Jade Emperor asked the crane deity, as well as Wang Lingguan, the pair that we fought, to escort him to his post, and also gifted him 2 jars of imperial liquor and 10 golden flowers. So all these deities are, congratulating him, but the red clothes deity is standing from afar and just quietly observing. She's much older than she's slightly older than him, but because she was a friend of his elder, in this case his mother, they were close. She knows him, and she has always looked to him as an older sister. And now seeing that, this is his moment, she predict a glorious future for him. She waited a couple more moments, and she can see him, welcoming people, greeting people in front of the palace, looking, confident and feeling good about this day. But he didn't even have a glance at her. He didn't look to her and turned around and left the palace to go to his post. Alright. The final boss is the final boss. Why are we missing so many elites? Right, Ardzia, second sister. This spot here in between. First sister, second sister, third sister, fourth sister, fifth sister, sixth sister. I don't know, actually. I feel like we're missing quite a lot. Alright, new transformation. Let's take a look what he does. He cuts with his hand with his basic. Wait. His charge is that he stabs himself and applies the poison on his blade. You can charge this up to 4 levels. And every time you hit enemies afterwards, you'll lose a stack of the levels you build up, but you will infest the enemy's wounds. Once the enemy has been infested, you can use the right trigger plus X to explode all the infested damage. And the bugs that you infested them will come back to your body and heal your health. And you can also end the transformation early and do an AoE explosion damage. And you can also explode whatever wound you left on them. I think this is going to be the core transformation for poison build. Definitely interested in trying out a poison build. Actually, instead of walking back, I'm going to first use this to hit up the village. We can make a new helmet, and I can teleport from the village to the boss fight. And we can pick up some pills. Do I have enough to upgrade? I don't think so. I think we're still 1 short for the alcohol upgrade. But we can check. We did pick up another one. Yep, 1 short. We'll use the new horn. Do we have new gold threads? I know they just did a patch update today where after you do New Game Plus, you can buy gold threads from him, which is great. But at this point, yep, we're missing gold thread, but we did get the material for these horns that we pulled off the rooster. Alright, so we're going to end our episode here. We'll wrap up Chapter 4 next time, and maybe even kick off Chapter 5. Not sure about that yet. Depends on how smoothly that fight goes. The 100-Eye Demon's definitely not easy, and we'll see how we do. We have the needle. That will definitely help with his phase 2 when he releases eyes. And we'll see if we can overcome him. So, until next time, bye!